Well, everyone, or should I say, sup dudes? This is the 2025 Volkswagen ID Buzz, an EV I have been looking forward to for years. And that's not just to throw shade at Volkswagen for taking what feels like forever to actually bring this thing to market, but I have been very excited about this thing. And I am still excited now that I am finally behind the wheel. This is the kind of vehicle that just makes you happy to drive. Forget how happy it makes everyone else who sees it. Just behind the wheel, it feels good. It puts a smile on my face, and that I very much like. Two things I don't like: how damn expensive it is, at least in the first year, which we will get to shortly, as well as the relatively limited range. So there are two versions that you can pick from: rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, but range 377 or 372 kilometers. That to me is pretty miserable, especially considering this thing has a 91 kilowatt hour battery pack. Yes, I know this thing has the aerodynamic principles of a bread box, but that's not the point. It's that even if you take a look at something like the GMC Hummer EV, yes, it's got a bigger battery pack, but it's got way more range than this thing. I really feel like Volkswagen could have done more to squeeze more range out of this battery, because that is a big sticking point, not just for me, but for lots of Canadians out there. We see it all the time. 400 used to be the number. Now it's 500 kilometers that people want to see before they will consider an EV. And I really think that is going to penalize Volkswagen here, because I would struggle with it too. That also means that this thing is pretty ideally suited for around town, not big highway road trips. That is something I can see this being very good at, especially as a family vehicle. If you need something to get the kids to school and soccer practice, get yourself to work, and do it without burning a drop of gas, this is a great way to do it, and a way to do it with incredible style. And speaking of incredible style, I don't just mean my outfit, I'm talking about the looks of this thing. I really see serious shades of the Type 2, the original Volkswagen bus, which this thing is designed to kind of pay homage to. And I would go out on a limb and say that this thing does a better job of honoring its heritage and its predecessor than the original New Beetle back in the 90s. I really dig the way it looks, especially with the two-tone paint on this one that I am driving. A whole bunch of fun and funky colors. For 1,500 bucks, you can add a white upper half, and it just looks fantastic. Again, it's gonna make you happy every time you look at it. Now, speaking of the specifics, with the rear-wheel drive version, you get 282 horsepower, identical to the Volkswagen ID4, because it's pretty much the same electric motor, just with some tweaks. That's how it makes 413 pound-feet of torque. And then if you go with all-wheel drive, you get a second motor up front on the front axle. That makes 99 horsepower or so. So you got, I don't know, something like 350 horsepower to work with. That is more than enough. Now, this thing is incredibly heavy. It tips the scales at something like 6,100 pounds, and then the all-wheel drive version adds another 150 pounds or so. But around town, it doesn't really feel like it. No, it's not gonna carve a corner like a little sports car, but it doesn't feel as big and bulky as you might expect. Now, where you will notice it is on a winding road like this one out here in California. It's a little much. You can really feel the mass of the vehicle down low. Go figure, that's pretty typical of EVs, no exception here. And then the fact that you sit up so high, well, you do feel like you're on a roller coaster, or you're one of those wacky inflatable waving arm tube men when you're getting tossed around from turn to turn. But I will say it is smooth, easy to drive. There's more than enough quickness. It's very comfortable too, and it's pretty quiet overall. Now, in Canada, we are only getting the first edition at launch. Unlike the US, which has 5 different versions to pick from, there is only this first edition in the choice of rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. That means you get everything from heated, ventilated, and massaging front seats to heated second-row seats, a head-up display, this 12.9-inch touchscreen infotainment system, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, tri-zone automatic climate control, all kinds of advanced driver aids. This thing is decked out, but here is the catch. It does not come cheap. If you want the rear wheel drive version, you are going to pay about 80 grand before tax. That includes the freight charge. And then this all-wheel drive version that I am driving right now, it's something like 85 grand. And that means if you add this electrochromic roof as well as the two-tone paint, you are paying about 100 grand with tax for this Volkswagen Buzz with less than 400 kilometers of range. That is a very hard pill for me to swallow, and I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of you out there might agree with me. What you have to decide, are you going to shop with your head or are you going to shop with your heart? Because if your head's making the decision, you might be better off looking at the Kia EV9. No, it's not quite as spacious, but it is a family-sized EV that's cheaper than this thing. But if you are shopping with your heart, I don't know, guys. This thing is about as good as it gets, at least if you ask me. Now, whether or not that's going to lead to incredible sales, I don't really think it matters. This is a flagship, a halo product for Volkswagen with its electrified future, and I think it's a pretty damn good one.